Hi, this is Chris and welcome to Winemaker TV, helping you live that winemaker lifestyle. If this is your first time here, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification so you'll know when I come out with a new wine and a new video. Today we'll be making a German style apple wine called Apfelewine, so stay tuned. This is a hopped apple cider. And today we'll be making a Apfelwein, which is a German style apple wine. So what's the difference between the cider and what we'll be making today? Basically, we're going to up the alcohol content in this by adding 2 pounds of light brown sugar. And when I make my ciders, they're more in the style of a beer, if you would say. Little lower in alcohol. I like them carbonated. I even hopped this one with some Cascade hops. So, and I only let these age for about a month, 2 months, 3 months. Today, what we'll be doing is making a apple wine, which I'm going to let age for 8 months, 6 months, 8 months, up to a year. I'm going to let mine age for a year today. So that's the difference between a cider and an apple wine that we'll be making today. So let's go through the ingredients and get started. All right, you'll need you a 5 gallon, this is a 6 gallon brew bucket. You're going to need 5 gallons of apple juice. I got a White House variety that has no preservatives other than citric acid. That's very important. If it has any preservatives other than citric acid, it may kill your yeast. 2 pounds of light brown sugar. You will need a 3-piece airlock. You don't need the bung. I've just got it so it'll stand up. And I have filled it with a liquor, tequila. They advise putting cheap vodka in there, but I didn't have cheap vodka and only had a little bit of tequila, Jose. So I put Jose in there because we're going to let this age for a year. I don't want the water or get funky and moldy, so we're going with the good stuff today. And I got a 5 gallon bucket full of sanitizer down here. Sanitizing solution. And if you need any sanitizing solution, a link will be in the description below. I have a spoon. I have a funnel. And I'm going to use this sanitizing solution to sanitize my 6 gallon bucket. And today you'll need some scissors, sanitized of course. And today we'll be using Red Star Premier Blac. You can use any white wine yeast, but that's what we'll be using today. So let's get started. So step 1 is to sanitize your brew bucket. So I got the solution in here. I'm whirling it around. This is a no rinse solution, so you just need to give it a little whirl. Make sure it touches all the surfaces. Then pour it back in your original bucket. That's step 1. So step 1 was sanitizing your bucket. Step 2 is take a sip of cider. Now really, step 2 is add half your juice. So I'm going to add I'm going to add 2 gallons. And this, I'm adding 2 gallons to so we can have a solution in there to dissolve our sugar into. And a little tip, I'll let my juice sit out in the car in the hot summer sun for a little while to warm it up just a little bit, so the temperature will be hot enough to make this 2 pounds of brown sugar dissolve. So step 2, add. Step 3, add your brown sugar. delicious. Then stir, gently stir. Now this is called a must. So stir your must to get the 2 pounds of light brown sugar fully incorporated. Also, this adds a little oxygen to your must to get the yeast going. And this spoon just came out of my sanitizing bucket. That's at my feet. Next step, add the remaining gallons of apple juice. There's 3. What inspired me to make this, my wife and I took a trip to a local winery, and they had an Apfelwein on the tasting in the menu. So we tasted it in bottle and liked it so much, I had to make it myself. But they source the apples locally. This is the easier homebrew method. All right, we've added our 5 gallons, and the solution comes to about 2 inches from the top, which is what we want. Next step is to pitch the yeast. So you just sanitize. Since this is going to be sitting for a year, I sanitize everything. So you pitch your yeast. I always just sprinkle it on the top, 1 pack to 5 gallons. And give it a slight stir, not much. Next step, add your lid. Make sure it's secure on there. Is to add our airlock. Again, I filled it with Jose Cuervo, and that's why I don't need the stopper, because I have a grommet and a hole drilled into this one for the grommet. And be careful to push. And if you do, it doesn't matter, because it'll suck the contents down into the bottles. But since it's just Jose, it'll boost the alcohol content. So, but still, be careful of pushing and manipulating the top, because it will create a suction and suck the contents down into your must here. So this will ferment for 7 to 10 days, and then it'll be ready to age. So we'll be right back. This will ferment for 7 to 10 days, and it should start fermenting within the next 24 hours. So, but I'm going to let this age. You can let yours age anywhere between 6 months. That's what they say. That's when it gets good. To 8 months is when it gets mind blown. This recipe comes from a homebrew form, and they said this was a homebrew award-winning recipe. It's simple, but I'm going to let mine age for a year. So if you like what you see here, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification so you'll know when I come out with a new video and a new wine. Also, I have a Facebook group, and a link will be in the description below. And if you need any of the equipment you see here or ingredients, there'll be a link in the description below. This is Chris with Winemaker TV, helping you live that winemaker life. And that's all there is today.